All right, guys, welcome to the Crypto Talks. This is week 5. We postponed a lot of events in the past because it was the bear market. Nobody was interested in crypto. I've been studying the crypto markets in the bull market and the bear market, and I've seen a lot of interesting articles popping up, and I learned more. And I found also other NFT projects that have been delivering. So we have a lot to discuss, a lot to share, and a lot to catch up. So let's just start with the first article. So in this article, what I want to share is like they finally approved um, the Inflation Reduction Act. This is basically they're gonna print more money to fight inflation. So they're gonna print like $737 billion to make sure that the inflation is not gonna skyrocket, just to delay it a little bit. This is their way of solving the problem. But in reality, the inflation that we are facing right now around the globe is because of the pandemic. The pandemic happened, all the companies, nothing was running. Like everybody, the whole world was in a lockdown. All the big companies, they stopped producing. They were A lot of companies went bankrupt, and they also a lot of big companies needed a loan from the bank, and they started to loan some money from the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve gets a loan from the private rich families, and this is basically how this whole problem is now coming to existence. So basically, your purchasing power of your fiat currency, whether it's dollar, euro, I don't care, whatever it is, it's going to lose its power in the upcoming future. So the best way to fight this is to invest in good projects that are delivering um, uh, like technology for in the future that the majority is going to use. So this is all you got to do. This is what I learned from Andrew Tate. I've seen a lot of videos from him. If you just look at the whole world economy, it basically works like this. If you find where the money is going to flow and you put your company into the stream, that's basically how you get money. And with crypto technology and blockchain technology, that is definitely the future. It's not gonna go. It's not gonna go away. 100%. That's definitely the future. If you just buy and hodl, eventually the money will come flowing into these markets, and then you will become rich by itself. So all you gotta do now in these time of the markets is like recessions are basically a new opportunity for us to create new companies, to create new ideas, start new projects, and so on, and to start to get money. So in time of crisis, there's a lot of golden opportunities. Basically like a volcano, when it erupts, the ground is very healthy for new production for vegetables and so on. That's basically how you need to see it. Every disaster has its opportunities. So basically, this is the whole article that you can find. I will share it in the Discord, in the general chat, so you guys can read it for yourself. This is basically how much they're gonna print, and if I want to visualize it for all you guys, this is basically how they are trying to fight it. So we have inflation. Okay, the whole world is like in big troubles and so on, and they are they finally approved the Inflation Reduction Act. Instead of throwing water, instead of solving the problem, they're throwing gasoline on the inflation, which is going to make it even worse. And that is the first thing that came up in my mind when I was looking at this whole um, issue being trying to be solved by the government. I was like, the reason why we are in inflation is because we printed so much money. The payment protection program, that's what we had during the pandemic, and now they're printing more money and just delaying the problem. So what is this going to do with the markets? I can also show it to you guys in the charts. Let's open the chart of Bitcoin. This is an indicator that I really want to share with you guys. It's really interesting. Let me look up the data. I think it was over here. Okay, here it is. So what I need to do is, oh, all right. I think I have it. Yeah, I already have it. I saved it. Thank God. All right. Watch the magic, guys. This is basically how you trade the market. So if you look at the market, let's pick S&P 500. If you look at the market, and we can see that every time the government, this white line which you see over here is the balance sheet of the government. Every time this line goes up, this is the moment when they print more money. So if you see, if they print more money, especially during the pandemic, they start to print money like crazy, like 7 trillion or 5 trillion. You see that the stock market is going up. And every time when it stops printing, the market tends to go down. So with the inflation, you can see it also here in the chart. The moment we stop printing, the market started to tank, and they sold all their positions in the stock market and so on. So what you can learn from this chart is like basically when they print more money, it's going to be in favor for the whole market. So what you got to do is like just follow the money, make sure to take your profits in time when it's going up, and then let the market crash again and buy it again. That's basically how you do it. If you line this indicator up with the Bitcoin chart as well, you can see the pandemic here. The Federal Reserve, started to print money like crazy. The market went up. They started to add more money to the balance sheet, and it just started to go like crazy. At the moment they stopped printing, it went all the way down, back to 17K. So this is basically what I'm doing right now. I'm really relieved that they're going to print more money. So that is basically an indication that the markets are going up, and all the charts are pointing and indicating that. If you look at Chainlink, for example, you can see the Chainlink is also um, going for a huge breakout. So a lot of charts are indicating that the market's going for a relief rally, and that is the reason why you hear all this bullish news. For example, we have BlackRock creating a spot ETF, Bitcoin ETF for their private investors, so you can buy more Bitcoin through BlackRock. And if you look at the amount of money that BlackRock has, they have over 10 trillion asset under management, and Bitcoin only has 0.5 trillion, half a trillion, or is it more? Let me just double check it. Total market cap. Total market cap is currently, including altcoins, of course, 1.1. Okay, this is accurate. So you can see how much money, if BlackRock is um, creating this opportunity to invest in Bitcoin. Just imagine how much money is going to flow in Bitcoin, and the value is going to increase over time. That's why you hear all this bullish news that people are basically saying that 100K is not very far away. Okay, we have another news. Strike has partnered with Visa to launch a new card. So basically, what I saw also in a lot of also a lot of other articles was basically they're telling that the credit card payment system is gonna cease to exist because there's a lot of decentralized financial institutions coming up in the market. So you don't need a bank anymore to loan money. So it's completely gonna be decentralized. That's why you see Visa and all those big companies, they need to innovate and they need to adopt the blockchain technology and crypto technology to compete with the new financial movement that's coming up on the market. We have BlackRock. Also, BlackRock, this is something that I want to point out to all of you guys. BlackRock is encouraged that organizations such as RMI and Energy Web are developing programs to bring greater transparency to sustainable energy usage in Bitcoin mining. And this is something that I want to point out to you guys is this token. It's called Energy Web Token, EWT. This coin, just buy it and hold it for at least 10 years. That's all you got to do. It's very cheap now. I bought a lot when it was around $5 and went all the way up to, no, not $5. I bought it back in 2000, how much? 2019. So yeah, it was around $5. Sorry. So I went all the way up to $20, and it's now below my below the price when I bought a lot of Energy Web token. And you can see that all these big companies such as BlackRock is now also promoting this coin. So this is basically how you look at the future. Think like how the elites are thinking. All they want to do, like the elites, the rich families, if you look at Rockefeller, Rothschild, DuPont, all those big families, they have all the money in the world. They just keep printing money if they want money. So while the lower class, the middle class, and the lower class, which is us, while we are fighting for this money, they just literally print it out. So they don't need any money anymore. So all they need is power. And how do they get power is to control the whole civilization on a global level. And how do you control the human beings? It's through digitizing everything. So that's the reason why blockchain technology and crypto technology is not going to move. It's not going to go away because that is their way to have a lot of power over their citizens and to keep track of all of their investments, their money, where they're going. You know, we had the Corona vaccine passport, just with a barcode. They just scanned it, and boom, they knew who you are when you took the vaccine. If you get permission to go to certain places in the Netherlands, like I basically was restricted from so many places because I didn't get the vaccine, and I'm against it because I don't need it. I'm not sick. I'm healthy, so I don't believe in this shit. But that's basically how I think. If you think how the elites think, that's basically how you win the game. It's very simple, and all they want to do is control the human beings, the human population on a global level. And how did they do it? With digital information. All those big platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and so on. The reason why they are a billion-dollar company is because they have data of human beings that are freely putting that on the internet. And now they have all this information about us, where we're going to eat, what we dress, who our families are, who we are connected with, what our future goals are, and so on. Because we are so stupid enough to share everything on our lives with on the social platforms. So what they do is like all they do is gather all these information and they just sell it to private companies, to the governments, and so on. I'm not even kidding. If you look at Discord, for example, it's a free program, but Discord is actually billion dollar worth company. Why? Because all the data, all the messages that you send to Discord is all being tracked, it's all being saved, and it's being sold to private companies and also to the government. Why? Because this is the way they can see a lot of things happening. Let's say, for example, a lot of protests. A lot of people started to gather on a Discord group and they started to talk about let's start a protest and so on at this and this places, and the government just counters it because they have all the information. And if you look at if you think like this, like the world in 5 years is going to be more digital. We're going to live more digitally. We're going to work more from home, and all this digital revolution what we see around us is going to use a lot of energy. So data, like data about us, is going to be the new oil. So if you want to become rich, it's very simple. Just create a platform while people are gonna share their private stuff on the internet. Just gather the data and sell it to company. That's how you become millionaire. It's very easy. But I don't believe in that. It's like, you're taking the privacy away from the people. That's why I'm really private when I go to social media. So data is gonna be the new oil, and the way to distribute data is we need energy. And if you look at energy, if the whole world's gonna live more digital, we don't have enough energy to distribute all the information on time. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna focus on renewable energy as well. So these are the main things that I'm gonna focus on. If I see a platform that is providing new um, um, providing new services for the people to socialize, I'm going to invest in that platform. Why? Because it's data, and data is very valuable among private companies. They just want to control the human being. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on renewable energy. I'm going to focus on vegan food. That's what I'm going to do because the world population is also growing. I'm going to focus on basically crypto technology, and crypto technology. That's what I'm going to do. And this is basically easily how you become a millionaire in this time frame. So that's something that you want to do. If you want to escape the matrix, if you don't want to work your whole life, then just think how the elites think, and that's invest in their ideas, and that's basically how you become rich. So that is one way of making money in this time. And I made a lot of couple 100Ks in the past cycle, but I didn't took my profit, so a lot of them is gone. But I managed to do it, and I can still do it. So it's just a matter of time. Okay, just in Spain inflation reaches 10.8%, the highest it's been in 38 years. So all that stuff that we're seeing happening around the globe it has been already programmed and planned by the elite. So we keep fighting. We are not united, and they keep control of us. So we have a problem now, and the government is now going to provide a solution, and that we're now going to accept their solutions, so we can live more freely and live back normal again. But we're not going to live normal again. We're going to live more in a digital society. If you look at China, for example, they have the social credit score system. If you look at it, it's pure like tyranny, if you ask me. Because if your social score is below a certain level, you won't be able to enter government buildings, libraries, some public places, and so on. So you control the human population through digital services, and that's something that I'm really against. And this is the way the government works from time to time. Just study history. After every problem, after every war, there's a certain empire that is taking over the power around the globe. What happened after the First World War? After the Second World War, America became the richest and the most powerful empire, and that's one of the reasons why the dollar is accepted worldwide, because all the other countries they were completely destroyed. And America was now providing them a solution for a problem that they created behind the scenes. So this is how they keep working again and again. So it's basically history repeats itself, and I definitely see it happening again. Just 2 years ago, it was really crazy. I couldn't leave my house unless I had an appointment at the doctor or if I had to go to work. Besides that, I couldn't leave my house. So I was restricted going to any public place, to any restaurants. I couldn't eat because I wasn't vaccinated. I lost all my freedom. I was like, what the fuck? What is happening with the world? And people believe this shit because if you look at the media, for example, BlackRock, they're now trying to enter Bitcoin. If you look at Yahoo Finance, just go to yahoo.finance and just look up the big companies around the world, and you will see Vanguard and BlackRock are the biggest shareholders of all these companies. So they control all of our aspects. Every device that you're using, every type of food that you're eating, every program that you see on the news. Like if you look at it, they control all of it. Everything you see, everything you hear, everything you eat. That's one of the reasons why I tell people, like, if you see something in the media, don't blindly believe it. Why? Because the biggest shareholders are the same people. So they're just gonna spread the same propaganda, the same agenda through different channels, and people are gonna think like, oh, like the whole world is talking about it. We have the impression like the whole world is looking at in this situation at from a certain perspective. But if you look on the internet, and then you'll see a whole different perspective that's coming up with a lot of conflicts around the globe. So let's say, for example, all the bombings that happened in the Middle East and so on, it didn't get a lot of traction, just like all the traction that Ukraine is getting. You know, I really like the way they support Ukraine here, especially in the Netherlands. They can travel for free with train. They get accommodation, they get food, they get water, and so on. But when the refugees from Syria came, from Afghanistan came, they were completely worked against by the government. So it's a double standard. So that is one of the things that I'm learning. Like I'm really realistic to myself, and this is one of the main things that I still believe. Racism still exists till this very day, and the government they just don't like black people. I'm not even kidding. Just look it up. Look at the way they treat the people. So if that happened like two years ago, they can just do it again. Now the monkeypox virus is now a national threat and whatever. They're just gonna do another deal with the pharmacy industry. They're just gonna inject some medicine into your body, and then we're forced to take it. And they're gonna make a lot of money, and they just share the revenue with all their rich friends, and they just leave us with inflation. That's basically how everything is summarized. The whole problem. Okay. Let's continue. South Africa, SMS services to send Bitcoin without internet launched. So this is one of the reasons why I truly believe in a decentralized system. Is like there are billions. I don't know how much exactly, but there are billions amount of people without a bank account. For example, if I want to open a bank account in a bank in the Netherlands, they're going to screen my whole history. If I was engaged with any terrorist organization and so on, and then if they approve me, I can open an account. But let's say, for example, I had a bad past, and I believe people need second chances. They wouldn't give me a bank account, so I would be restricted from participating in a financial system in the Netherlands. But now we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't care about how you look, if you're black, if you're brown, if you're white, if you're Jewish, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're, I don't know, if you're Hindu, whatever. They don't care. Just have an internet connection, have a phone that's working, boom, you can basically send money around the globe. And Bitcoin is never going to leave. Why? Because all the rich people around the globe, they have trillions and trillions amount of money. If they want to send money, let's say, for example, from America all the way to China, they have to work with so many banks, so many intermediaries. They're going to take a lot of fees. It's going to take a lot of time to send the money from point A to point B. But if you look at Bitcoin, for example, you just send it from one wallet to another, and it's done within a few minutes, and it's safe. You will have the guarantee that it is cheap, and it will reach its destination without a doubt. So this is like one of the revolutions that I'm seeing here. So this is basically what we need. And a lot of people that didn't have bank accounts, billions and billions amount of people, they're now able to participate in this decentralized network. So there's more money coming into the system. So all those centralized banks and credit card companies, they need to adopt it. Why? If they don't do it, they're just going to lose it. It's that simple. If you look at in the book, the Bitcoin standard, you will see that there was back in history, Africa was still straight. Their currency was shells. You know what we find on the beaches. They used to use that as a currency. But in America, they were already developed. So what they did, a lot of Americans, they just bought a lot of shells, which was worthless in their country, and they just dumped it in Africa. So their whole currency was fucked up. So if you look at the dollar is unlimited and Bitcoin is limited. So Bitcoin is definitely going to win. If you don't adapt, you will lose. And that is basically, they cannot ignore this powerful financial system, which is Bitcoin, crypto technology, a decentralized financial system. If you don't adapt on it, you will lose 100%. And that's basically what history showed from time to time. All right, let's continue. This is also one of the bullish things that I'm really looking forward to. Finally, the Ethereum merge date is going to happen on 15th of September. That basically means that Ethereum is going to move from proof of work to proof of stake, which is going to reduce the transaction fee. It's going to increase scalability on the network, and Ethereum is very known in the NFT world and also with Uniswap and so on. Everybody knows Ethereum, right? So that is also one of the reasons why I'm so bullish about Ethereum, and that is going to increase in its price, and that's also one of the reasons why it was increasing. Everybody's preparing for this merge in the 15th of September. So the macro indicators are telling us the market is going to recover. It's going to be bullish again, and we can see also now with all the updates what's happening within the projects. It's going to be bullish. So all you got to do is stay patient, and especially during the bear markets, keep an eye on projects that are still active because they're in it for the long run. And eventually, when the bull market comes, that is the moment when they start to shine. Uniswap wasn't like how much volume is Uniswap making per day? Let's look it up. Okay, volume 24/7. Okay, over here. Where is it? Uniswap. Where are you? Okay, 157 million. Okay. And back in the days when Uniswap was new, they didn't have a lot of volume, but they built this decentralized system during the bear market. And when the bull market arrived, that's the moment when people realized, oh, this is what we need. And also, this is also one of the reasons why I'm so bullish about PartyFi. The finance, the platform that they're creating. They're building this gigantic platform in the bear market, and when the bull market is arriving, that is the moment when the money starts to flow in, and that is one of the reasons why I don't have any concerns, because they just keep delivering, despite that we have so many delays and so on, but they just keep building and building. So this is one of the reasons why I believe in this project. All right, let's see. We have the Ethereum merge that's coming up, and if you look up Google Trends, Ethereum merge is exploding. So a lot of people started to look for this term, what it means, and a lot of people are starting to get involved in crypto back again. So that's one of the main reasons why I see that a lot of money is going to flow back into the markets. It's going to be temporary relief, but it's not the official bull market where the market just goes parabolic. I think that's going to happen in the next halving, which is March 2024. So 2023, I don't know what's going to happen, but we just have to look it up. All right, hostage situation. Today in a bank in Lebanon, the hostage taker was denied his withdrawal request for the $210,000 he had deposited in the bank. Eventually, he surrendered to the police. He needed money for his father's surgery. Your money in the bank is not really yours. And that is what's happening over and over again. And that is something that keeps repeating in all those countries around the globe. If the banks, if all the people from a country are trying to withdraw their money from the bank, they cannot deliver it. Why? Because they don't have the money. So this basically means that the whole system is built on debt. It's not built on pure money that they have. No, it's built on debt. They can't even deliver it. And that is one of the reasons you cannot withdraw money from the banks. And this eventually leads to people taking hostages, trying to rob a bank and so on, because they're forced into this situation. Okay, we have Michael Burry, who predicted the 2008 financial crisis, says that addictive consumer spending will lead to trouble in the markets. So they're having this Inflation Reduction Act. Okay, fine. They're going to print more money. It's not going to solve the problem. It's just going to delay the problem. But what is eventually going to happen? People are going to think, oh, we don't have the inflation. Oh, Joe Biden just said we were not in inflation. We're not in a recession. They're just going to believe the presidents blindly. But the people who have the knowledge about the economy and study history, we can definitely see we're in a big recession. Inflation is like skyrocketing in a lot of countries. So we got to keep in mind that even if the presidents denied us, we just have to look at data. Data doesn't lie, but people do. That's one of the reasons why I love blockchain technology. Everything is transparent. You can look it up on the internet, an Etherscan and whatever. Everything is transparent from begin to the end. So, and this Michael Burry, he predicted the 2008 financial crisis with the Lehman Brothers. When it started to collapse and so on. And now he predicts another crisis that's coming up. So prepare yourself and be wise. And during these times, don't be afraid to dollar cost average in. Don't immediately invest $10,000 right away. Just dollar cost average in, and prepare yourself for the next bull run that's coming up in 2024, the next halving effect. Okay, that's basically what I have for the news. If you look at the charts, let's look at some charts from a macro perspective. So if you compare the price structure from Bitcoin back in 2018 and 19, and also this cycle, 2020 and 2022, we can see that the relief rally is gonna take place. It's just the structure is the same, but the price swings is a little bit different. But this is one of the reasons why I believe that human psychology is so important. It's not easy to predict what's gonna happen with the price of Bitcoin, but it's easy to predict human behavior. And if you understand human psychology and their emotional behavior when it comes to investing, you will be able to predict what's going to happen with the prices of an asset. So that's why you got to study the psychology of the human being. So when I'm jumping into other NFT projects and look into the Discord, I see the majority is either depressed, sad, or they just blame the project founders that the project is going down. But if you look up Wall Street cheat sheet, if you look up this chart, for example, look over here, you can see, oh, this is Dutch. Just give me a second. Let me look up an English version. All right, here it is. So here it is. You can see that the majority of the Discord community, they're angry, they're depressed, or they don't believe in the project anymore. So this is basically an indication that we are in this cycle of the price swing, and eventually, this is the perfect moment to accumulate a lot of NFTs and a lot of crypto assets, and just wait, just hold, because after the disbelief phase, people will start to get hope, and then eventually the cycle will repeat again. So that is basically the indicator, like the majority people outside, they're not talking about crypto anymore, and this is the best moment to invest in it. Like Warren Buffett said, be fearful when people are greedy, and be greedy when people are fearful. So this is the moment to invest. All right. So let's look at the chart of 2018 and 2022. We can see there's a big resistance around 30K, as we discussed, Sai. And if Bitcoin managed to break that resistance level and flip that as a support, then I'll become very bullish. But now I'm still bearish on Bitcoin. But now is the perfect moment to invest. So I keep investing dollar cost averaging in. So the same price structure is in chart. The price, if you look at the indicators and the price structure, it's kind of basically the same. And this is also on the time frame of 10 days. So each candle displays 10 days. Okay, so you need to have a lot of patience. It's not gonna recover right away, just like that. You need to have a lot of patience in the market. Okay, Bitcoin is following the chart. The bull run is coming. So this is a falling wedge. When Bitcoin is breaking out of this, it's gonna recover slowly, and then it's gonna hopefully. Let's see if we can beat 30K first before we become very bullish about 50K and so on. So let's look at the chart from a macro perspective. All the way back in 2013, the support line is respected in every cycle, and every time we hit the support line, a new cycle is happening. We can expect, just like in this chart, in 2024, we can expect the bull run when the markets are going parabolic. So make sure to accumulate during these times. And when wave 2 is coming in, make sure to take your profits in altcoins that you don't believe in, because altcoins are going nuts in this cycle during wave 2 and also wave 3. All right. Bitcoin is ready for a massive bull run. So also this chart is also indicating it. We have data from all the way back in 2015. So the next top is probably gonna be around 200K. But yeah, this is something that I want to show you guys is this chart BLX. So if we look at this helicopter view, all right, let me just make things simple. Let me remove all the Fibonacci tools. Oh, this one, this one, this one, this one. All right, this is something that I want to show you guys. So I've been playing with a lot of charts. So if you look at this chart, we can see like back in 2010, yeah, basically Bitcoin was free around that time. We can see that at every yellow line, the markets tend to go very parabolic. That's because of the halving effect. And that is also the reason why I believe in March 2024, that is when the next halving is going to take place. And the price and the amount of Bitcoins that you get for mining one block is going to be 3.125 BTC. So it's going to be more scarce. So this is going to increase the price all the way up to 100 to 200K. That's what I believe. So during these times, when the markets tend to go sideways, is the best time to accumulate. Just look in the past. During the sideways accumulation phase, the market also started to recover with 300%. So during these times when the market recover, make sure to take your profit because we have a lot of time as well for another black swan event that's coming up. And the way the market looks now from a macro perspective, it doesn't look very healthy. So I can expect another drop down. So maybe the price is going to go something like this to 30K. We can go down and then we can make another run all the way up to 50K. And then something happens and the market tends to go down. And then we can start the new bull run in 2024. That is something that I'm uh, looking forward to. Because if you look at all the cycles in the past, that's basically what happened. We have a relief rally and the market goes sideways. It's just a boring time to be in the market, but this is the best time to study more about crypto technology and the behavior of the investors in the past cycles. Okay, and this is something that I want to show you guys. If you take the Fibonacci tool and you drag it from swing high to swing low, you can see something evolving in the charts, okay? So this was basically the all-time high in 2016, 1,168. The moment we broke that level, these are good levels to take your profits. If you look over here, these Fibonacci levels. And this Fibonacci level is basically connected with the human psychology. Just study about this. It's amazing. It's basically math. And after we broke the the latest level, we can see the market goes literally vertical. So what you can do is like you can take 10% profit over here. You can take 20% profit over here, 30% as 3060, and then you take the remaining 10% and the last 20% you leave it over here. It's a gamble. So if you repeat that, if it would have repeated the same plan with the current structure, you can see that the moment we broke the all-time high, these are the moments to take your profits. So it would be better to be taking profits around 30K, around 40K, around 60K, because in this cycle we didn't broke this level. In the previous cycle we did. If we look at the cycle before that, we can see we also broke this level, 4.2.36. So this means that two things are going to happen. Either we're still going to have the last leg up when we break this level and go parabolic, and that way we have a big crash that's coming up, or we can just go sideways, just like I said the previous time, and then continue the bull run in 2024. So two options are still in play, and that is something that I want to do. Let's say, for example, if this was the top and this is the bottom, that the next take profits would be around these levels. So this is the all-time high. Take your profits around 100K. Take your profits around 151K. Take your profits around 200K. Take your profits around 237K. And then the last, when the markets go literally vertical, this is just a gamble. Everything above it is a gamble. Just look at the past cycles. It just keeps repeating over and over again. So this is something that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me just remove all of this. Boom. So what I want to point out with the chart is have a plan and make sure you are flexible during when the markets tend to shift. We cannot predict the markets, but what we can do is we can have a plan and make sure you don't have one plan, but be flexible with creating a new plan and so on to make sure that you're gonna take your profits on time. Because I didn't took my profits in the past boom market, and I lost a lot of profits. Otherwise, I would be able to buy houses now, but I didn't because I was greedy because I thought it's gonna go to 280K, but I was stupid. But I learned from it. It's okay. I'm gonna make sure that it's gonna happen again. Don't worry. Okay, if we look at the altcoins, we have been following the last cycle for 2 or 3 times now. The best part is still missing. So if you look at the cycle, the way the altcoins behave, back in 2015, 16, and 17, we can see the RSI and we can see the price structure. We have a ascending triangle. There we have a sideways movement. It's basically a bullish flag, and that's going to continue. So we have the ascending triangle again, the bullish flag, and the last move that's coming up should be happening. So this is one of the reasons why I keep telling you guys, if the market is going for a relief rally, altcoins are going nuts. Make sure to take your profits, because I believe that the way the economy looks right now, we still have a big crash that needs to happen. I still believe that there must be something happening, like another black swan event. So if the market is going for a relief rally, we have another chance to take our profits, save the money, and when the markets are crashing again, invest back into the market. Just keep repeating that same plan over and over again. Okay, let's look at XRP. I still believe in XRP. Why? Because XRP is just basically solving the whole majority problem of the Swift. It's going to replace the Swift banking system. That's basically what I believe. And you can look at the cycles that they were happening in the past, and that is forming right now. So if we look at the structure of the past cycle and the current cycle that we're in, a $200 XRP price, if it's going to repeat the same cycle, it's not crazy. So, but don't take your profits around 200K. No, take your profits around $10 and so on. Just dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out. That's basically what you got to do. So that's basically what I have for the charts. Let's talk about some NFT projects. Some NFT projects that I'm really bullish on to keep delivering is Troublepunk. They're going to release their free-to-play game. It's going to be free-to-play, also play-to-earn. But the beauty of this project is that their token supply is limited. It's not like Axie Infinity, which becomes inflationary. Their token is going to be deflationary. And if you want to participate in this closed beta, I can share the... Oh. Wait, give me a second. I can share this link with you guys. This is basically my referral link. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. If you want to register, you get 10% of the drop token that you will get airdropped. That I will get, you will get it, and I will get it as well. So it's a win-win for both of us. And if you register through their normal link, you won't get it. You won't get the airdrop. So if you I own a lot of their NFTs, and I still believe in the project. Why? Because I've talked with the team with camera on. They're fully transparent with me, and they just keep delivering. And they have a really good. Just look at their website. This is their website. It's really professional. Let's just skip that. Just look at the previous. Look at their gaming portfolio. Look over here. So they created all these games in the past. They created Dragon Nest. I played a lot of Dragon Nest, Ragnarok, Freestyle, Avalon. They have all these games. Arc Age, for example. I played a lot of those games, like thousands and thousands of hours. And it's the same developers. They're behind these projects, and they're fully doxed as well. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm investing in this project, and they just keep delivering over and over again. And if you just test their game out, I literally got a couple $100 for just testing their game out. Literally, they just keep investing. They have a lot of money, so they They're not looking for more money. They're looking for money, of course, but they have a lot of money to spend to burn. Um, so that is something I want to point out. We have Frogland. Their land review is finally ready. So if you buy a frog, the frogs are basically the landowners, and each frog has a digital land in their metaverse. And the creators of this project are the creators of PlayStation Home. They work with VR with the metaverse since 2013. They have partnership with Nvidia. They have big partnership with they have no the people in their team. They worked for Disney. They've worked for big companies. And if you just look at their NFTs, the quality that they deliver is like insane. And their team is completely doxed as well. We also have another project that is called Collider Networks. Why do I believe in this project? Just if you go to their website, it is so professional. The creators also already they're multimillionaires, by the way, this company. And they're just basically creating a game. You can play this game if you have their NFT. Um, you can play their game, and they're gonna aim for. It's not a play to earn game. It's gonna be a game that's gonna be aiming for the esport, just like Fortnite and so on. And this is basically how the game looks. You can play the game if you want. I can also show you to you guys after the stream how the game looks, how you play with it, and every character is customizable. So every hat, every item that you get, um, they worked for Street Fighter, Assassin's Creed, Batman, Mortal Kombat, Injustice 2. So they have a lot of experience when it comes to um, developing games and so on. And if you go to their YouTube, they hold a lot of live streams with their faces. They're fully doxed as well. Just look over here. And they just keep updating the community.
At least we're doing our best to do so, guys.
Very well, and that's what I love about it. And every month you will get an airdrop if you hold their NFT. So don't miss out these projects, because all these good projects are now below the mint price. Most of these projects. And they're still expensive though, like this one for example, but it's worth it. So what do I have more for you guys? I had this. Oh yeah, that's basically what I had prepared for you guys in this session. So that was from my side, and we also have Sai, who has also a lot of experience when it comes to um, investing and the whole crypto market. So I want to give the word to him if he wants to share some information and his perspective on the market. And yeah, Sai, let's kick things off. Mm-hmm.
Some relief. Like, this is Dow Jones. Like, come on, this is amazing. On the weekly, this has just risen around 12% in like 2 months, pretty much 2 months. That's really, really good for a main index like the Dow Jones. So definitely, everything's rallying as of right now. Bitcoin is going up, had this kind of rough patch, but it broke through the 200-week moving average, which is a pretty big line of support slash resistance, depending on where Bitcoin price sits. So right now it's holding. It's been holding it as support, and it looks to be going up. So for now, things are looking good for Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin is going to go above this box. Absolute maximum, I would think, around $35,000, but I really don't think it's going to go that high. Highest, probably around 30K, kind of falls in line with what you were saying, Laga. And also, there's something I've kind of noticed that whenever you have on a straight, when you have a ton of red candles in a row, you have this really, really tiny green candle, and then just gets slapped. This thing tends to act as resistance. I think there are some examples. What I mean with it tends to act as resistance is that first time it goes to that level usually gets rejected, and it tends to tap that level a couple of times before it actually breaks through. So, for example, in this part, you can see, you have this little green candle, and then it keeps bleeding. Then it kind of taps on it. This is the weekly, so daily it's probably a bit different. But it taps a couple of times. It doesn't break through. This one also tapped, didn't break through, and then finally, because it tapped it like 5-6 times, it actually ended up breaking through. But it takes a while to break through these types of candles. So if we go to 30K, I don't think we're breaking this the first try. So I think we could touch 30K and then just, maybe move sideways or go down again. So that's my perspective on Bitcoin. Definitely relief right now. But I don't know if it's going to go past 30K. I'm betting on no, but sure. Give me a second. So this is the daily. Obviously, daily kind of changes. Versus head and shoulders. So like, you mean like this? So you got like this. You got this, then this, and then like this. I mean, it could happen. It could definitely happen. But we don't even have the hit yet. So definitely could happen potentially. But I don't know. There are still a lot of things in play, so I wouldn't bet 100% on it. Definitely, but you can't bet 100% in these types of scenarios. So yeah, that's on Bitcoin at least for now. Dominance is looking pretty bad for Bitcoin. Pretty good for all coins though. We had this peak at around 48%. Many people were talking that Bitcoin dominance is going to go up as the bear market progresses, and there can be definitely some of these dumps or these dips in Bitcoin dominance. I think a big part of it has to do with Ethereum. So Ethereum, okay, let me just clean this. Ethereum has been really, really, really strong. Like, we went from being sub 1K to like 800 to right now being near 2K, like a 2x on 2 months. Really good. Definitely in the current phase of the market, and especially for Ethereum, which is kind of a blue chip. But it's the Ethereum merge. So Ethereum merge is getting Ethereum a ton of traction. I don't expect this to go past whenever the merge actually occurs. Also, Ethereum, you have to be kind of wary with Ethereum because this thing has been expected for around 4 years, and people have started to feel that maybe they're not the most reliable people to set deadlines. So the estimate is around the 15th, 16th September. Be careful about that. Don't assume that it's going to be 100% that day because it could very well change, and maybe price gets affected by that. But definitely for now, Ethereum is going up. Maybe if you want to play the short side whenever that date approaches, could be a good play. I don't think it's going to just explode after the merge. Usually, what happens is the opposite. Buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah,
In this
exactly.
case, buy the test net, sell the main net, or sell the upgrade. That's usually what happens in crypto. So that's kind of what is going on with Ethereum, and definitely
Do you
has had
think?
its effect
Oh,
on Bitcoin dominance.
yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Like a lot, if the merge, like
Hmm.
it was delayed, like in the past for so many times, like it
Yeah,
is a fact.
yeah,
So
it's
it
it's
wouldn't
been delayed
surprise
so
me
much.
if it would get delayed again. So a lot of people, they're not so bullish about around Ethereum. When it gets
Hmm.
delayed again, people will get frustrated and they will move to other solutions than Ethereum.
Yeah, I mean,
Which network do
in
you
fact,
think is a highly competitor when it comes to Yeah, Ethereum financial system.
So again, I've just come back to crypto from a week's slash a bit 2 months break. So I'm a bit rusty. I don't know how well Solana's fate is holding right now, but in fact, what happened on the 2021 bull market is that you know this thing happened with Ethereum. Like this thing went from the the coronavirus pandemic like crash, like flash crash, from $100 all the way to almost 5K. And on top of that, the fees were absolutely disgusting. I remember looking at 3 digits for just like a $60 value transaction. It was absolutely insane. And so, because Ethereum was so popular, but the fees were ludicrous, people started looking for Ethereum replacements. So, for example, you got here Solana. Solana has been, oh my god, this is so dirty, Jesus Christ. But yeah, Solana has been definitely dipping really hard lately, like really, really hard. But is it good? I think it is. Definitely, fees are not a non-issue on Solana. Strong competitor, still holds a pretty decent market cap. I don't know if it's top 10 right now, but definitely top 50, top 20. So Solana could be a good choice depending on what you're looking for. I mean, I definitely see explosive potential in Solana. ADA, Jesus, I haven't touched Cardano in so long. Cardano has more of this long-term, like it's slower, but when it pumps really strongly. Like I remember when I was starting out in like January, February, we saw this thing go from 30 something cents to 90 on like a week and a half. It was insane. Just a 3x out of the blue. Coins were definitely pumping really, really strongly, but Cardano has just this thing. It just has this thing, and it has almost like a cult-like following. Like people that are into Cardano are really, really strongly into Cardano. So there's going to be support there. They're going slowly. They're kind of like more of a they're more rigorous with their updates, so they're slower. But I do believe that if you like long-term projects, Cardano definitely a strong choice, and it competes with Ethereum. So yeah, aside from that, I don't really know right now many other alternatives. Like I think Polkadot I think Polkadot was also like a quote unquote ETH killer, although nothing kills Ethereum, at least for now. But definitely, like if Ethereum starts pumping really hard at some point and fees get out of control, definitely a good idea to look on Ethereum alternatives because those will probably pump as well. So yeah, there's that. Also, on a bit of a different note, regarding inflation, inflation hasn't really gotten much better. The CPI from last month was 8.5, if I recall correctly, which is just it hasn't gone up really. It hasn't really gone up, and it's cooled down a teeny tiny bit. Now, on that, I think we have conflicting evidence. So, what I think influences the CPI most right now is energy. So, if energy starts tanking, CPI is going to tank with it because natural gas not only influences like energy prices, it influences fertilizers, which in turn, you know, Jesus, my I just forgot how to speak. So it affects fertilizers, which in turn affects crops, which in turn affect the price of the things that you do with those crops. So it also affects food. And natural gas, it had this dip in like June, and people were like, "Yay, that's great!" And then it just recovered. So now it's pretty much at the same prices that it was, 2 months ago. Not ideal. However, this is like crude. I hope it's not too much different from oil, but oil definitely doesn't seem to be recovering as well. Doesn't mean that it can't. It definitely could recover and then just say, blast again. But currently, it's not recovering as well and as strongly. It's going to get overextended. So on the weekly, so I would be worried about what oil and petroleum does. So yeah, that's what I think. If these things start tanking really heavily like this, but on a sustained manner, I would be looking at a macro bullish perspective, but not from now. Not from now, definitely. We won't know how the Fed is going to react to the prices because the FOMC is next month. Definitely keep an eye on that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything about charting. So about other things I wanted to show you. So first off, another thing regarding Bitcoin is mining. So one of the things that happen when we are in a bear market and we are pretty advanced into a bear market is that usually you get this influx of new people whenever a rally happens. So difficulty in this case represents, well, just that the difficulty of mining a Bitcoin. So a ton of difficulty means that a lot of people are mining in the network. So competition is fierce. So whenever we have a rally, we have this phase of just people getting in and just ramping up the difficulty as price goes up. And then at some point, we have a crash, like this one, for example. You got this really, really strong pump, and then difficulty stays right, still rises even after the peak is in, because people are still hoping. It's this post bull market euphoria. Like, yeah, the price is going to continue going up. Like, this is not a bear market. You're just a loser. Don't sell for 10% loss. Sell for 70% down the line. And at some point, this difficulty curve stops growing, and this means that whenever it starts going down, like it's been doing here, when it did right here, when the rigs in China were shut down and moved elsewhere, but what it's doing right here, it means that people are leaving the network. So mining rigs are being shut down, probably because people don't have the money to keep those operations running. So right now, price is going up, tiny bit, not a ton, but it's going up, while difficulty is going down. This means that people are able to mine Bitcoin easier, more easily, and on top of that, the price is higher. So if people are smart, the smart mining rigs are going to start selling with those elevated prices because we might have another leg down. And that's not ideal because then it's really going to put a ton of strain on mining rigs. But this is definitely something that you want to see whenever you are in a bear market because it signifies that we may be closer to the end. Like, this is not something that happens, you just got a double top and we're starting to approach the 200-week moving average. Like, this difficulty was still going up. Now it's been tanking. So this a good sign, but don't get your hopes up just yet. But still a good thing. Also, were you commenting on Laga about the I don't even remember the name. My goodness, the game you were talking about. One of the first one.
Cyber Girls. Yeah.
What? Sorry.
Cyber Girls, the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called different.
So yeah, so that game I looked it up, and it turns out that it's on Immutable. So I kind of want to talk about Immutable a bit because I've been following for a long time, and I think it's a really good project. So Immutable is this layer 2 for Ethereum that is specialized in gaming specifically, and it wants to make games and marketplaces with 0 gas fees. I'm not going to get into how they do it, but it's really interesting. They basically just compile like hundreds of thousands of transactions down into really tiny transactions into the Ethereum blockchain. Really cool. So it mitigates a ton the price that you have to pay and the carbon footprint of those transactions. And on top of that, it just buys carbon tokens to offset that carbon emission, so it's carbon neutral. On top of that, they have its own token. So IMX is the token from Immutable X, and you can stake it on the marketplace to get a percentage of all of the transactions that happen on the networks. So you know how the saying goes during a gold rush, don't try to get the gold, sell the shovels. This is what it does. So you have a couple of games that have a ton of success on Immutable, and those games have high transaction volume. You could try to do trading on that game or trying to get something, and maybe strike it rich, or maybe just waste a lot of time, or you could just stake the token and benefit from a ton of volume happening in the space, and that will net you more IMX because every transaction that happens within this network needs to be covered by at least a tiny amount of IMX. So it's always going to have use, and that IMX goes to a pool, and the people that stake IMX get the revenue from that pool every week. So if you believe on the games that this layer 2 offers, really good way of getting diversifying on the games that it has, and also benefiting from every game's success. Immutable X, in my opinion, pretty solid choice. So yeah, that's more on the NFT side, but I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's really cool. And they're also like doing trading like rewards. So if you trade on the marketplace, you can get the IMX token, depending on how much you have contributed to the trading volume that day or that week. So just a pretty safe way to get tokens right now, and it's relatively cheap. Like it's a $1 something, but maybe I would wait until another leg down to buy, especially altcoins because they're going to be inflated. But yeah, just wanted to talk about this project. That's it from my side.
Thanks.
No, not much to say. You're welcome.
I got so thanks.
So yeah. Anything else anyone wants to add or ask or anything?
No, I joined in a bit later, but so far everything is clear for
No,
me.
not from my side. Like I really enjoyed the way you shared the charts and also with the mining especially. So
Yeah, I mean, I think mining is really accurate in terms of talking about it's specifically Bitcoin and by extension crypto cycles. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm really liking the difficulty decrease, but yeah, only God knows when it's going to stop.
yeah,
But
I'm
it's
really
a good sign.
excited. Like, do you know what I hope? I hope that Ethereum is gonna delay the merge again, and people will get disappointed and they will flee to another Ethereum competitor, and then those layer twos or whatever they're gonna go nuts if all those people start
Yeah,
to.
I mean, I would definitely. I'm not trading lately, but if I was trading, I would definitely be thinking actively about when am I going to short Ethereum, because I think Ethereum can get shorted at some point. Not right now because it's risky, especially shorting. But at some point, it's just going to really slow, hit kind of a wall, and then it's going to be a really good time to short, like 20-30%. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. And maybe that either it gets delayed or it just happens. No,
Mm,
people were there was selling pressure on NFTs because people want to hoard as much Ethereum as possible for the merge, and that maybe it's a play to just buy NFTs right now because people are overselling them, and then when the merge occurs, people will want to do something with that Ethereum, so they will start buying back those NFTs, and they will increase in price. So again, not financial advice, but maybe that's a play, and it definitely seems plausible that it can net some gains.
interesting, man. Like I really like to share perspective with each other. And I
Yeah,
hope like we can benefit each other, especially during the bear market. We can educate each other and prepare ourselves for the next boom market that arrives, and that we can just later in the future, like in two to 3 years, when we become multimillionaires, or at least millionaires, come on, that we can look
hopefully.
back at these days and going to be like, these meetings were very uh, yeah, we're very pleasing, and this is something that we needed. We just kept studying, we just kept reflecting on the market. What are we gonna do? What interesting projects are there to buy, to invest in? And I really that's basically what I do. All I do is just keep reflecting. I didn't took my profits. I lost a lot of money. It sucks, but it's whatever. It's a
Yeah,
learning lesson, learning curve, and it's you need to lose
yeah, and I
five.
mean, it's
You
fine.
need to lose
Like
5 figures
it's
to get 6 figures. You need to lose 6 figures to get 7 figures. That's what they say. And
yeah,
yeah,
and I
I'm
mean,
just gonna. I'm
it's
never gonna give
fine.
up. I'm never gonna give up.
Yeah, and I mean, it's fine to feel like bad for losing those opportunities, but like you have to think about, if I started out, like when I started out, everything was frigging booming. Like if I had started 1 year earlier, I don't know how much money could have made in 2021, but definitely a pretty decent bit, like a
Yeah.
really really good bit. Um, but I just didn't start there, so it's like fine. Yeah, I was losing like 2x's and I made really bad plays, going into leverage and screwing up. Yeah, definitely. That happened, 100%. But, like, what was I supposed to do? I had just started out. There were a ton of scammy channels because, crypto was booming. So people were just, most of the YouTubers that I saw were like, you know, why Cardano is going to go to $10, and it was like at 90 cents, and it was like, holy shit, this is a bargain. But it had just run a 3x, and it was like, it's not going to run more in 1 week. Don't be delusional. Like, sure, but I didn't know that, and it's a really difficult time to get in a full blown bull market like this because you don't know how much it can fall. Like if you had told someone in March 2021 that Bitcoin would go sub 20k, they would they would have probably laughed in your face, like no joke, because it was like, yeah, right, it's going to 100k, idiot. And now maximum 17k, 70k, sorry, and it went sub 20k. So like people just don't know. You enter in this mania phase, you just don't know how low it can go. And I mean, it's great. It's been like I'm learning a ton with how the market's moving right now and how it's been moving this past year. Looking at macro stuff, like I sometimes tell my parents that yeah, I need to. I'm waiting for the FOMC, and then they ask what that is, and it's like, yeah, it's the United States central banks like talk about inflation and how they're going to raise interest rates. And they're like, so you do that for crypto? And I'm like, yes, I do. Huh, that's interesting. But yeah, it's really I really like it. I'm
Right.
I'm mainly sticking with the projects that I believe in right now. I'm not exploring as much, but maybe I'll go and maybe start exploring whenever
All
the
right, guys. That's
second
it
leg
for
down
this
occurs,
crypto
if it
session.
does
Thank you so
occur.
much for watching. I hope you learned a lot,
But
and
I strongly believe that it
as
will.
always, happy learning. See you
Maybe
next week.
not like